Well, hello everyone. George here, Catholic Positive Energy. Nice to see you all. Yeah, my mom got me some fancy shirts that I could wear for these broadcasts. Certainly hope you like them. Today, I have a wonderful topic from the Power of Positivity Facebook page. It's been a while since I've gotten any information off their site. I'm glad school has cooled down a little bit for me now, so I have a little bit more free time. So here's some wonderful information for everyone. The title of this broadcast is the same as the title of the article that I have here for you. 18 quotes about being positive from motivational speakers. Hope you like them. I'll just quickly go through what these 18 things are. I won't mention every single word here because there's a lot to digest, but I will put this article, a link of this article, in the comment box right here, right below. So for those of you who are watching this much later, it's right there, right down there. So, you ever notice how there are a lot of people, like you and me, who we want to feed off of positive, loving energy, off of people, whether they be famous or maybe not as famous, people we love. It could be a priest who's preaching, it could be, some evangelist or a famous person. And we just love listening to them speak. We love being around them. We love feeding off of their positive energy. I know I do. So, 18 quotes about being positive. Here's number 1. When you are grateful, fear disappears and abundance appears. That's from Tony Robbins. I have a very dear friend who named Author Holly, who I also emulate. That's why I started this Catholic Positive Energy. She talks a lot about being grateful. She even has a daily gratitude challenge, or gratitude journal, where she is always mentioning and trying to think of new ways every single day about being grateful. That's something that a lot of us don't do. And I was recently talking with someone I'm very close to, and I said, you ever notice how, people like, let's say the late, wonderful Mr. Rogers. I don't know anybody else in this world, well, other than my dear friend I was just mentioning, I don't know anyone else who was like Mr. Rogers, who looks at the world from a completely positive perspective, doesn't pay a whole lot of attention to the terrible negative things and the ugliness in this world. See, have you ever noticed that there's a lot of people in the world who don't look at things the way Mr. Rogers does? They see ugliness, they see negative energy constantly everywhere. I was recently, I'll just touch on this before I move on. I was recently watching a movie, Rambo 5, Last Blood. I'm not a big fan of that character, but I was watching that movie, and I noticed, Mr. Rambo, he certainly looks at the world through very negative eyes, from a very negative perspective, because he hasn't seen much good in this world, as he said in that movie. There are some people who don't really see very much good in this world. And I will admit, I don't see a whole lot of good in this world. I do see good in this world. I really do. It's just, usually we see more of the other thing than good. And people tend to focus a little too much on that because there's so many people out there being terrible to one another. And people don't normally think of the words positive energy when they look at other people. That's the problem. So if we were a lot more positive and grateful, and we behave with a big smile on our face when we go out into the world, oh yeah, we will restore people's faith in humanity. Number 2, in every day there are 1,440 minutes. That means we have 1,440 daily opportunities to make a positive impact, according to Les Brown. Number 3, Acknowledging the good that you already have in your life is the foundation for all abundance, according to Eckhart Tolle. Yeah, number 3, that kind of goes back to what I was just saying in number 1, being grateful, acknowledging the good, as number 3 says. Number 4, think about every good thing in your life right now. Free yourself of worrying. Let go of the anxiety. Breathe. Stay positive. All is well, according to Germany Kent. I keep seeing the words good here. I guess I should also include this article in my Good Said Vibes. Something I made up because of my last name. Number 5, change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change, according to Wayne Dwyer. Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. You know, like I'm saying, don't look at the world the way Rambo does in his movies. Trust me, I'm sure many of you have seen or probably still do see a lot of bad things in this world. But change the way you look at things. Try. Please try. I'm sure you don't want to be somebody who is completely haunted by their past, and you know, whether you have PTSD or some kind of trauma and a lot of terrible things in the ways that you've grown up and you've experienced a lot more bad than good. Don't look at the world like that, because if you do, then of course you're always going to have nothing but negative energy in your lives. When you look at the world through negative eyes, how can you see positive energy if you're looking at the world constantly through negative eyes? I'm going to be talking about this a lot more throughout the year. Trying to emphasize, don't look at the world through negative eyes. I see a lot of people who do that. I know, and I'm very close to a lot of people who do that. And I just think to myself, don't you ever have any positive thoughts? Or anything positive to say or think or feel about your life? I always hear something negative because you're looking at it through negative eyes. We have to look at things through positive eyes. Please, please. Remember my Good Said Vibes, please. Change the way you look at things, please. It's a process. You can't just flip the switch. But if you keep watching my videos, and so far I've done 36 of them now, I hope that the things I'm saying will help you. Number 6, people deal too much with the negative, with what is wrong. Why not try and see positive things, to just touch those things and make them bloom? This person has a strange... Okay, let me look at... I'll try to pronounce this name. Thich Nhat Hanh. I hope I get that right. Look at the article and you can correct me if I'm wrong. Anyways, yeah, I was just saying that. People deal too much with the negative. Now, I really want you to, please, I like having productive discussions. Please post any thoughts you may have regarding to what I'm saying about thinking too much about negative energy as opposed to positive energy. Positive energy needs to be here, and the negative needs to be, pretty much gone. Do any of you have any occupations where you deal too much with negative energy? Like maybe you were in the armed forces or in law enforcement of some kind. Some kind of public service. Obviously, all of those professions deal a lot with negative energy. I mean, there are not very many careers out there where you can deal with more positive energy than negative. I know of a few. I have a few friends who are Catholic apologists who have wonderful experiences with the people they work with. It's always a fun day. And or if you're someone who's like a game show host, they come out to people applauding them all the time when they make their entrance. People winning money and prizes, celebrating things, rewarding knowledge, having such a great time. I'm sure, it's great to be a game show host. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a game show host. And in some ways, I still wouldn't mind it. I guarantee you, I probably would never want to retire if I was a game show host. I would love it. Next is number 7. A loving person lives in a loving world. A hostile person lives in a hostile world. Everyone you meet is your mirror, according to Ken Keyes Jr. Now, I'm sure a lot of you will agree with me. When you meet people who you know personally, who are always negative, who are not loving, that energy tends to come towards you and it kind of ruins your day. You come home from work because you had some very difficult person you had to deal with, or maybe that just stays with you the rest of your life, that you had to deal with someone who was a very rude, disrespectful person. And I will admit, I still carry some things around me that were very, that were some terrible disrespect was thrown at me, and I still carry it around because I've had more negative than positive. I wish people would certainly be a lot more nicer to each other, or even to me, but it's not a perfect world, unfortunately. But then again, for my fellow Catholics out there, Jesus was not on the receiving end of a lot of positive energy either. And he still was able to look at the world and love the world with positive energy, even though he was crucified. So, if he can do that, even though he was fully God and fully human, we have the ability to do that as well. And yes, it's a struggle. Yes, it's a process. You may not get there right away, but you need to have faith, hope, and love in God. And I hope you have confidence in me. Notice I didn't say have faith in me. I mean, I'm a human being. I'm not divine, but I hope you have confidence in me. Have faith in God and have confidence in George. That sounds a lot better. I don't want anybody correcting me, giving me a hard time. Number 8. The best thing to do when you find yourself in a hurting or vulnerable place is to surround yourself with the strongest, finest, most positive people you know, according to Kristen Armstrong. See, here's another wonderful thing. I always tend to talk about my dear friend, author Holly. She has been an amazing inspiration in my life and always will be. I will remember this forever, even if I live to be, 200 years old. When you're spending time with someone who's very positive and joyful and tries to say all the right positive things at all the right times, that's someone you really need to be close to in your life. You see, if you spend time with people who are negative, downers, depressed, always complaining and talking about, how lousy their day is going, well, that's going to rub off on you. We all need to get a little, negative energy off our chest and vent to those who are in our inner circle. But when you constantly talk about your problems and your negative energy and whatever terrible things you went through today or through life, when you constantly talk about it, people will have a negative image of you. It's okay to talk about it maybe just once in a while, but as much as possible, try to minimize that. And don't talk about anything negative at all. Mr. Rogers didn't do that. That was for sure. He didn't talk about his problems. I remember there's this one YouTube video, you could look it up, when he talked about how he had to discipline one of his grandsons after coming home from a rough day of work, but he later called him on the phone that very same day and apologized to him. I see I have a viewer here on the Facebook page. Hi, Laura. Nice to see you. You see, Mr. Rogers didn't talk about his problems. he always had a positive, joyful attitude, which is something that we all need to have. And I know it's a struggle. I know it's a process. A lot of us have some very stressful jobs where, some of us probably, being positive or joyful isn't even possible. I'll admit, I'm a security guard, and I always have to deal with kicking homeless people off the property where I work. And I do have people talk back to me and sometimes respond by saying some things that are not very nice. And I can't possibly respond to that with positive energy. I have to deal with that, But I guess the best thing for me to do is to just try not to take it home with me, or try not to take it with me for the rest of my life. Maybe let it go by the time I go to sleep, and then wake up the next day, it's over. Don't take it with me. Don't carry it around with me like emotional baggage. Yeah, obviously I would love to have the positive job like those game show hosts, but we can't all have that glamorous job where we deal with positive energy, where we're overwhelmed with positive energy. But we can surround ourselves with some positive people who can overwhelm us with positive energy. Number 9. Oh, I've heard this speaker before. I've heard that my friend Holly has met this person and said wonderful things about him. Positive thinking will let you do everything better than negative thinking will, according to Zig Ziglar. Yeah, if my friend Holly ever sees this video, look, I quoted Zig Ziglar, Holly. She would definitely love that one. Number 10. It takes but one positive thought when given a chance to survive and thrive to overpower an entire army of negative thoughts, according to Robert H. Schuller. One positive thought to survive and thrive to overpower an entire army of negative thoughts. I'm going to try to find some more wonderful things by Robert H. Schuller. I think so far, this is the most powerful, positive quote I've ever read in my life. This one right here. I'm going to try to expand more on Robert Schuller. This is wonderful. Number 11. It is important that you recognize your progress and take pride in your accomplishments. Share your achievements with others. Brag a little, just a little. The recognition and support of those around you is nurturing, according to Rosemary Rossetti. Please let me know how you feel about these quotes. Please. I really would love to hear your thoughts. Number 12, much of our pain or misery in life stems from our own outlook towards the situation. A paralyzed person can also be happy. So can be a financially poor family, according to Amit Alawat. Number 13, according to Louise Hay, I do not fix problems, I fix my thinking. Then problems fix themselves. See, all of these quotes are like different pieces of what I've been saying earlier about changing your negative thoughts into positive. Definitely love number 13. Yeah, 13 in this list is not unlucky. That is a lucky thing. Think positively. Number 14, positive thinking is more than just a tagline. It changes the way we behave, and I firmly believe that when I am positive, it not only makes me better, but it also makes those around me better, according to Harvey Mackay. I've noticed that. You see, for a lot of years, throughout most of my life, I would talk a lot about my problems or about something that was bugging me, and there was always, I did that a lot, and I never had anybody let me know directly to me, but looking back on that now, that kind of thing alienates people around you. You talk about your problems a lot. You're always talking about some upsetting thing in your life. People don't always want to hear that stuff. They would much rather hear you make them laugh, smile, and be happy. And the only way you do that is by being positive and joyful. When people see that in you, they'll want to be your friend. They'll want to be around you, and they will speak very highly of you. Trust me. I've seen both sides of that. I know. Number 15, you've done it before and you can do it now. See the positive possibilities? Redirect the substantial energy of your frustration and turn it into positive, effective, unstoppable determination, according to Ralph Marston. I definitely hope you pay attention to number 15. Here's number 16. Now, I'm sure many people here are dealing with this. You don't have to mention it publicly if you don't want to. But number 16, according to, here's a doctor, Dr. Ruplin, don't let mental blocks control you. Set yourself free. Confront your fear and turn the mental blocks into building blocks. Turning a negative into a positive. You can do that, you know. Some people are probably thinking, George, what did you just say? Turn a negative into a positive. It can be done. Trust me. I'm sure a lot of you know this. You just haven't experienced this. But it can be done. Number 17, according to Brian Tracy, you have within you right now everything you need to deal with whatever the world can throw at you. Trust me, you do. I believe in it, all of you. And finally, number 18, last but not least, according to Mary Lou Retton, optimism is a happiness magnet. If you stay positive, good things and good people will be drawn to you. See, I just mentioned this just a few moments ago. If people see that you're positive and joyful and relaxed, they will want to be around you. I know, because I'm drawn to people who have those qualities. When I wait a while to talk to someone, who's very popular and very well known, who has a very good reputation, I want to be around people like that because their positive energy rubs off on me. When you spend a lot of time with people like that, that helps us. I've been around some very negative people throughout my life, and their negative energy is rubbed off on me, obviously because I spent a lot of time with them, and unfortunately I inherited some of their bad traits. But if you spend a lot of time around some positive people, those traits will rub off on you as well. And I certainly hope that my positive energy is rubbing off on people here. Like I say, please let me know. I definitely would love to hear how you feel, how I'm doing. If my talks here are helping any of you at all, please let me know. But finally, that's it. Those are 18 quotes about being positive from motivational speakers. So I definitely hope that this has helped all of you. Trust me, we can't all have that glamorous game show host career, but we can still be happy in our lives. Once you leave that stressful job you have and you come home, just leave it all behind you. Hang it up at the door. As you take your shoes off, take your negative day off emotionally. You're home now. You're not at that stressful job anymore. You don't have to be miserable during dinner time or, during whatever relaxing moments you have before you go to bed. You can forget about all that and just realize, I'm at home. I'm happy. I'm grateful. I'm very proud of all of you, for following me, liking the page, and being members of the group. Please don't forget, I also have a YouTube channel here, also called Catholic Positive Energy, and I'd love to see you there as well. I'm very proud of all of you for listening to these things. I certainly would like to brighten the world with some Catholic positive energy. First and foremost, don't forget that Almighty God loves each and every one of us, each and every one of you, unconditionally. And He wants us to be happy. He wants us to be positive. I want you to be positive as well. Please don't carry around any terrible, sad baggage that may have happened to you for such a long time that might be haunting you. It's best to just throw it away. That's another thing I'm talking about here. So, I hope you've all enjoyed this. Thank you for taking the time to listen. I'll post the link in the comments below. So thank you very much, and please remember, dignification is better than criticism.